All right, Tess, tell our viewers where we landed at.
We are at Pleasure Florida SEGWAY Tours, and I'm just really excited.
This is your first time.
It is.
I can't wait to try it again. It's Tyler.
And Tess.
And we are out
And about Sarasota.
All right, what am I going to say next?
Let's go in and take a gander.
Let's do it. All right, we are back with Nancy's Segway Tours. We always have a great time. Everybody that watches the show knows this is one of my favorite places to hit when I'm here in town. Tell our viewers a little bit about Segway Tours and what you offer.
Hi, Tyler. Great to see you guys again. And we have not one, but 3 Segway tours that we offer. We have an hour-and-a-half tour, what we're going to do today. That's a historic tour. We have a 3-hour tour, which is a deluxe scenic and historic tour. That one goes over the long John Ringling Bridge, the mile-long bridge, and beautiful sunsets and all kinds of wildlife and stuff on that one. And then we also have a 2-hour tour, which is the best of both. It's Bayfront tour and historic.
All right, if our viewers are watching right now, maybe they want to get information. Do you have a website?
PleasureFlorida.com.
Great, and all the information about all your tours is on that website, right?
Yes, and we just lowered our prices, so it's a good value.
Oh.
Please come check us out.
Summer deals. All right, and what about a phone number in case I want to give you a ring?
941-416-3530.
Great. All right, stay right there. We've got so much more to come. We're going on a Segway tour when we return after this message.
Welcome to Bravo, located at Siesta Key Westville Mall. A casual and comfortable atmosphere, serving up fresh ingredients daily. Serving creative, chef-inspired dishes. With a daily happy hour featuring drink specials and a fabulous small bites menu. Handmade pizzas and fresh-made desserts from their in-house bakery. All happening at Bravo, Siesta Key Westville Mall.
Welcome back. I have my exciting new outfit here. She picked it out. Thanks, Nancy.
You look fabulous, as always.
So tell me a little bit about why I'm wearing this and why our viewers would want to wear this.
Well, we are in God's waiting room in Florida, so we want to be seen, even though we're going to stay mostly on the sidewalks. But as we're crossing the streets and things like that, we want to be visible and seen. So that's a safety thing as well as
Safety first.
right.
All right, so obviously this is the Segway, right?
Right. This is it.
Show me how it works.
Okay, so I'm going to hold it, and you're going to place both hands on there, and you're going to step right on. And you stand up straight, look straight ahead. Looking good. So first thing I'm going to have you do is stop, like you're at the light. So I'm going to let go of you, and you're just going to stop. This is going to straighten you out. 3, 2, 1. Okay, Tyler, we're going to pretend we're crossing in the crosswalk. This is your crosswalk, so nice, slow walking speed. Walking, walking, walking. And stop. Woohoo! You did it. All right, smooth and fluidly. Let me see you do an about face. Turn right around. Got it. That's all there is to it, brother. You remembered from last time. It's easy.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah. It's like riding
You
a
can
bike.
do it too. All right, let's go on our tour. All right, Nancy, you always know all about Sarasota. What is this thing here in front of us?
Oh, this is cool. I love this. So this is one of Doc's bikes, or Doc or Dr. Nick. He's a retired pediatrician. He's kind of a local celebrity. And since he's retired, he's got a lot of time on his hands. He volunteers a lot, and he also does art. His form of art is he takes old bikes and he decorates them up real fancy, and he chains them all over town. He's got 49 bikes in all, and we're going to see several of them today on our tour. And they all have one common theme, even though they're all a little bit different. So you take a good look at that one, and when we see a few more, we'll see if we can put together what the commonality is on all of Doc's bikes.
Okay. Well, I can't wait to see what's in store next. Follow us. Well, what is these? I mean, obviously heads, right?
Yeah, these are called Gallery of the Patriots. They're busts, and they're mostly Latin American leaders of countries, along with Thomas Jefferson and a few others there. This is was put here by the Hispanic Society to welcome people of all cultures to the city of Sarasota.
I guarantee people that are watching right now, they're like in their head, where is this place? Because I never knew this place was even here.
This is Gillespie Park. It's the oldest park in Sarasota. It's 10 acres. It was established in 1926. It was named after John Hamilton Gillespie, and he was our first mayor here in 1905. But prior to that, in the late 1800s, it was an experimental farm owned by a land developer named Owen Burns. You may be familiar with Burns Court.
Right.
Burns got tired of experimenting trying to farm lettuce and maybe celery because the soil was too sandy, so he sold this land to the city, and then they plotted it into this beautiful park here.
Incredible. Can't wait to see what we're going to find next. You know, the great thing about going on these tours is you learn so much about Sarasota that you think you know about, and you really don't. And I love that about SEGWAY tours here in Sarasota, is you actually can touch it, feel it, be there on premise, and then take off whenever you want. All right, Nancy, these are really cute houses.
Yes, they are. We're going to talk about several different styles of architecture today. These are called Florida Cracker style houses, built in the early 1920s. Very popular, that style was back then. They have metal roofs, they have wood siding, they're raised up off the ground. Why were they raised up off the ground, Tyler?
Maybe the rain?
Everybody says that, but it was really primarily for air cooling, because before air conditioning was invented, open your windows, open your doors, cool air would flow underneath the home like that. And the name, so native Floridians are called Florida Crackers. Are you a Florida Cracker? So none of us are crackers, are we? The reason they're called Florida Crackers is because cowboys used to herd cattle and crack their whip. All of Florida used to be a big-time cattle ranching state, and so that's how that got started.
Wow, really cool. We're off to see the wizard.
So where are we at now, Nancy?
We are in the historic Rosemary District. This is a very old neighborhood. It was established in 1886. It was the first all African-American neighborhood of Sarasota because post-Civil War, we were, of course, segregated. But back then it was called Overtown, and it was a thriving community. They had their residential section along with every kind of business you could possibly want. But the locals had nicknamed it Black Bottom due to the jazz movement that was popular back then. Wouldn't be calling something that today because that sounds racist, right? Right. But anyway, they did change the name from Overtown to Rosemary several years ago after the old cemetery over here. And this neighborhood is experiencing a downtown revitalization. You'll see all the new construction going up around here, and it's very popular for the arts, culinary arts, music, and all that kind of stuff. So
I can see all up and down the street they have like instruments and painted murals, and I love it.
Yep, so that's the Rosemary District, and now we're going to head on to another neat old house with a different style of architecture.
All righty, let's
All right, Nancy, so obviously another piece of architect.
Yes, this is called Mediterranean Revival style architecture. You see lots and lots of that around here. It has barrel tile roofs, the rough stucco on the outside, and the use of the wrought iron. And this house has an interesting history. It used to be a bayfront house. It sat right over there where the Ritz-Carlton now sits. And in 2003, when the Ritz bought that property, rather than tearing this house down, they offered to give it away to somebody who would pick it up and move it. And a local man named Mark Famiglio said, "I'll take it." So he jacked it up on trailers and he moved it at a snail's pace. And he planted it on that lot that he already owned. Cost him $250,000 to move that house. And he wanted a 3-story house, and it was only a 2-story house when it was on the bay. So he added the 3rd floor up underneath when he moved it. And you can see how he tied in the architecture pretty well with the stucco. But while we're here, I'm going to point this piece of artwork out to you also. This is a public art statue. And Sarasota has a public arts law which states any new commercial construction in the downtown city limits must put public art. So you're going to see it all over the place, and we are the art capital of Florida after all.
Some stuff. Can't wait to see what's next.
This is another different style of architecture. This is called Tudor Revival style You see lots of that up north. But this house was built in 1903 as the Sarasota Women's Club. Woohoo! Right, Tess? It was the hub of all civic and social activities for women here in early Sarasota. It had 67 charter members, grew to have many, many more as the years went on. And those women did a lot for early Sarasota. They paved the sandy paths with brick pavers, they removed trash and rubbish from the town, and they planted over 250 coconut palms all along the bayfront, many of which you can see are still here to this day. This is all before we women even had the right to vote.
And it's a magnificent statue there in the middle, too.
Yep, that's another piece of public art. Now houses the Keating Theater, which is the main stage for the Florida Studio Theater Group.
Never been there, have you?
No, I have not.
We'll have to take a gander. It's so interesting the things that you actually see when you're right in front of them versus driving in a car, passing by, even walking by, and having a guided tour from Pleasure, Florida tells you all about exactly what it is.
So I'm really interested in this monument right here. Tell me a little bit about it.
Okay, so this is the War Memorial. It's a World War I statue of a doughboy soldier, and it honors all the men and women of Sarasota County who gave their lives in World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and the Gulf Wars. All their names are on the plaques. One name only in World War I, Horace Mink. Horace Mink got to Fort Dix, New Jersey just in time for the influenza outbreak. He died in camp of the flu. He never even made it overseas. So the doughboy soldier, you're going to take a look at his uniform. He's got a steel pot on for his hat. He's got a Springfield rifle with a 16-inch bayonet on the end of it. That was the weapon of terror for World War I. You don't want to be staring down one of those. But in his backpack, he would have rations, a tin of lard, a bag of flour, and some water. Do you get where I'm going with this? He would take his hat off, dump all the ingredients in there, mix them together and form a dough ball. Then he would put that thing on the end of that bayonet and cook it right in the hat. So by World War II, these soldiers were then called GIs. They were no longer called doughboys, and that one stands for government issue.
And I love how it looks like there's newly placed photos here, memorials.
Yes, and flowers and things like that. So there'll be a lot of people gathered here for the up-and-coming 4th of July holiday.
Wow, this was such a great tour. Did you have a great time?
I loved it. Nancy had such wonderful information to share with us.
Absolutely. Nancy, in closing, tell us a little bit, and the viewers, where are we at? What is this thing?
All right. Well, as you can see, it's a big ship and a lighthouse. Very unique looking houses, right? And these were put here for a guy by the name of Captain Arthur Rowe. Captain Arthur Rowe was John Ringling's yacht captain and marine mechanic. And he worked in the same capacity for oil magnate William Selby. You may know who Marie Selby is of the Gardens. So Captain Rowe had a great job working for those guys. He loved it. And he always wanted to live on a boat, though, when he retired. But he got married, and his wife said, no, I don't want to live on water. I want to live on land. So that was their nice little compromise they made. Wow. They had that ship built on the land by a shipbuilder, and they did begin living there when he retired in 1949. And the ship is 100 feet long. That was their main house that they lived in. After a while, they decided they needed a guest house. So they built themselves this lighthouse here as their guest house. Turned into a bed and breakfast for a little while after the Rose passed away. But they're now just back to private residences, and people do live in there. And luckily, you're not going to see any cranes around here because they were added to the National Historic Registry in 1984, as you can see by the plaque on the front of the lighthouse.
Wow. Well, thanks so much, Nancy. We always enjoy Pleasure Florida Segway tours. It's one of our favorites, really, here in town. I think we've done this a couple times now. But listen, this is where it's happening. If you want to know a little bit more about history, or you really want to know more about Sarasota, and you want to do it on a Segway tour, it's easy, it's fun, and it's great experience for everyone. Well, thanks so much. That brings the segment to an end. We want to thank you for watching, and we'll see you when we're out
And about Sarasota.
Out and About Sarasota made possible by these fine sponsors. This has been an Out and About media production and a product of Sarasota Social.